Drawing this spring stamp is easier than you think, and I'm going to show you step by step how you can do it even if you're a beginner in digital art. Before you start drawing, make sure to download the color palette, photo reference, and my free brushes. If you want, you can also use another picture and turn it into stamp using the method I will show in this video. If you would like to draw more of me and get my special Procreate brushes, join my Patreon, link is in the description. And with all that being said, let's start. Let's make a new canvas, A4 canvas from Procreate. And first we are going to import here our picture that we'll use for the stamp. So let's go to the Actions menu, go to Add, and then pick here Insert the photo. Pick your photo, and it's here. Let's make it bigger. And you can turn on here snapping, so you can move your picture and it will snap to the middle of the canvas. Let's tap here to finish. And for me, this picture is a little bit too long. I'm going to shorten it by using the selection tool. At the bottom, let's pick rectangle. Make sure the color fill is not turned on. And we can now just select a rectangle like this. We'll select the part that we want to cut off. I'll cut it somewhere like this. So now I can go to the Actions menu, go to Add, and pick Cut. Now again, I'll take the arrow tool, and I'll place it in the middle of the canvas. I can make it a little bit bigger. Okay, and let's tap here to finish. Now, before we move on here, we can change the background color, so we'll see better what we're doing. So let's open the layers, go to the background color, and let's take this blue one. Tap here on Done. And now we can duplicate this layer, so swipe on it to the left and pick Duplicate. And let's take the one that is at the bottom. We'll change color of this. So let's tap on this layer here and pick Select. Now at the bottom, let's pick Color Fill. And we have to change the color here. Let's take this one. Now we can take the arrow tool to make this bigger. So at the bottom I have Uniform pre-selected, and I can make it bigger like that. And then I can move it back to the middle of the canvas. I want the distance here to be the same as this one, so I'll move it up. So it's about the same size. And now I'll take the selection tool. I will turn off here color fill, and I will select this here. So I can cut away that part. Now let's go to the Actions menu and pick Cut. And now again we can take the arrow tool and make sure it's in the middle of the canvas. Okay. Now we are going to cut away here some dots on the sides of the stamp. For this we are going to turn on the Symmetry tool, so we can cut away from both sides at the same time, and it will be the same cut. So let's go to the Actions menu, go to Canvas, turn on Drawing Guide, then Edit Drawing Guide, and pick here Symmetry. In the options, let's have Vertical selected. Let's tap on Done. And now we can take the eraser, let's tap on it, and we can pick here my 3 dots brush. This one. Let's make the size here 16%, and go here at the edge of the stamp like that. Hold your pencil on the screen to make this a straight line, and you can put your finger here to make this vertical. Like that. And now we'll do the same, but this direction. So first we have to change the Symmetry tool. And let's go to the Actions menu, Edit Drawing Guide, and now in the options here, let's pick Horizontal. Tap on Done. And let's do the same here on top. Put your finger here to make this horizontal. And I want to move this, so I'll just tap here. And now I can move it down a little bit, like that. Okay, when you finish, tap with your finger on the screen. We can turn off the symmetry line, we don't need to see this anymore. So let's go to the Actions menu and turn off Drawing Guide. And now let's take care of our illustration of our flower here. So let's go to this layer here. We want to change this into a line art. So here I'm going to use a trick that I showed in one of my other videos. So first we want to have this in a grayscale. So to do it, let's go to the adjustments and take here Hue Saturation Brightness. Let's turn on the saturation to none. And we can change the brightness a little bit. I'll make it 41% because I want this to be darker here. Let's tap here to finish. And now we have to duplicate this layer. So let's open the layers and swipe on this layer to the left and pick duplicate. Now we have to change here blending mode of this. So let's tap here and let's change this to divide. We have something like this. Now to be able to see this flower here, we have to add here Gaussian blur. So let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Swipe your pencil on the screen to the blur size. And let's do it somewhere between 2 or 5%, maybe 6, 7, I would say it's the most. I'll make this here 5%. Let's tap here to finish. And now to make this more visible and nicer, first we have to merge those two layers together. So let's tap here and pick Merge Down. So now this is just one layer. We have to add here some curves, change the colors of this. So let's go to the adjustments and take curves. And let's take this bottom point here to the right, like that. And then top one we can take to the left. And you will get a line art like this. If you take it more here, then it will be inverted. So play around here with this until you get what you like. I like it like that, so I'm going to tap here to finish this. There's one thing I don't like now about my illustration here. It's those black outlines here. You may not have them or have them depending on how you swipe those curves there. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to open the layers. I will set this layer to Drawing Assist. And now I can take the eraser. I will set it to Calligraphy and Monoline Brush. I'll make it 100%. And I will just erase this here like that. I'll hold my pencil on the screen to make this a straight line. And I'll put my finger here to make this horizontal. Okay. And now I have to change the symmetry into vertical. So I'll go to the Actions menu, Drawing Guide and Edit Drawing Guide. I'll change this into a vertical. I'll tap on Done. And now I will erase this line here. Like that. And now let's take a small break, and I would like to ask you to like this video and write a comment with the word flower. It would mean a lot to me, I would know that you enjoyed this video, and I would be able to see who's watching me. So thank you for writing the comment. And now let's go back to drawing. Okay, again I'm going to turn off the Drawing Guide. And I can open the layers and turn off the Drawing Assist. Now we are going to add here some color to this. So first we want to have exactly the same rectangle on a new layer. Let's duplicate this layer now. And take the layer underneath here. Let's tap on it and pick Select. At the bottom make sure you have color fill turned on. And let's pick the color here. Let's take this yellow one. So now if you open the layers, this is yellow here. But we don't see anything here because we have to change blending mode of this layer here with the line art. So let's tap here and let's set this one to multiply. Now we can add here some effects. I'm going to add here some gradient at the bottom. So for this I'll make a new layer here. I will pick the color. I will take this one And I will use here my free brush, the steeple brush. So let's go for this one. And let's make the brush size here 38. And just add it here at the bottom like this. And now as you can see, this is coming outside of that rectangle. We have to set this layer to clipping mask. So tap here and set it to clipping mask. I want to make those dots a little bit bigger. So I'll take the arrow tool and I will just scale them up like this and move them down here. I want to add here now some lighter dots at the top. So for this I'll make a new layer. And I will set this layer to add. I will also set it to clipping mask. And I will take this color here. I'll just add it here like this now. And I will turn down the opacity of this. I just want this to be visible only a little bit. I'll make it 31%. Okay. I want to add here some more color, so for this I'll make a new layer. I will also set it to clipping mask. And I will change the color to this red one here. I'll make the brush size now 100%. And I will edit here the bottom part like this. And I'm going to change blending mode of this layer. Let's set it to darker color and turn down the opacity here. Let's make it 44%. We still have to add here price for the stamp. Let's take black color for this. And let's add text. Let's go to the Actions menu, go to Add, and pick Add Text. I'm going to do it 5 cents. So I'll type 5. I'll do the cents on a separate layer. I'll tap on this now to select it. And I can tap here to change the font. Let's take here maybe this one, Helvetica Neue. And let's set it to bold. And tap on Done. Let's take the arrow tool to move this and make it bigger. Like this. And then tap here to finish. We are going to duplicate this layer now, so swipe on it to the left and pick Duplicate. Let's tap on it and pick Edit Text. Let's tap on this and type here C. Let's take the arrow tool now and move it and make it smaller. Like this. Tap here to finish. And I will make both of them a little bit smaller. So I'm going to select both of them. I'll swipe on this one to the right and take the arrow tool and make it a little bit smaller. Like this. So now we can add here paper texture to this stamp. We are going to import the paper texture here. Let's go to the Actions menu, go to Add, and pick Insert the File. And then you can pick any paper texture that you like from my free paper textures. I will take here number 4. Now we need to have this above our picture here, so on top of everything. And we're going to change the blending mode of this. Let's set this one to color burn. And turn down the opacity of this. I'll make it 53%. And now I will duplicate this layer still. I'll take the one underneath and I will change this one to screen. So we can see some of this texture here on the black color. I'll make it 35. And now I can still adjust this other one. So I'll make this opacity here maybe higher. I'll make it 70%. We want this paper texture to be only on the stamp, not on the background. So we have to select the outside of that stamp. Let's go to this layer here and take the selection tool, turn off your color fill and pick here automatic and tap somewhere on the outside of this. You can swipe your pencil on the screen to adjust the color blur threshold. And with this selected, let's go back to the layers. Go to this layer here, tap on it and pick clear. Let's do the same to the other layer here. So now that we have this shape here, we can just use this one for selection. Let's take the selection tool, tap here. Now open the layers, go to this top paper texture, tap on it and pick clear. Now we can drop a shadow from this stamp. So let's go to this layer here at the bottom and duplicate it. Let's take the one at the bottom, tap on it and pick select. Now turn on the color fill and let's take here black color. We already have it. This layer is black now. Let's take the arrow tool so we can move this shadow out. Move it out like this. And we're going to blur this. So let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Swipe your pencil and screen to the blur size. And let's make this 11%. We can turn down the opacity of this just a little bit. So tap here. And let's make this maybe 78%. I would still like to add some texture to the background, so I'll make a new layer. I'll move this under that shadow layer. And I will take this light color here and some brush over texture. So let's go here to textures. And let's take here Dove Lake. Let's make the brush size bigger, 53%. And just draw on the background like this. Okay, and now we'll change the blending mode of this layer. And you can decide if you want to have a lighter effect or if you want to have something darker. Then you can maybe go to difference, exclusion, subtract. See what you like. And then you can always turn down the opacity here. I will go to overlay. And I will make my opacity here 60%. And now this illustration is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you can share your drawing with me on my Instagram. And if you'd like to draw more of me, make sure to check out my Patreon, link is in the description. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video, bye!